Hello there. If you argue with your partner, you're with the wrong person. If you argue with your partner, you need to end the relationship. Sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? Now, let's look at what an argument is. An argument is a difference in opinion, raising your voice and bickering, going silent, maybe even blocking each other or sort of ignoring each other, which is, I've always found silence the worst sort of rejection. You don't mind someone being mad at you because at least you still know they care, but to have the silence, to have them not speak to you for an hour or 2 hours because that's how much you've hurt them, or vice versa, it's not good, is it? It's not nice, it's uncomfortable. Now, you shouldn't be arguing with your partner. If you've been with your partner for 2 or 3 years, over that amount of time, you should have ironed all those sort of wrinkles out of the relationship. Now, it's not saying that you're not going to disagree going forward. Of course you're going to disagree. But you should have set up boundaries by now that basically say, right, you're not a child. You're not a little child anymore. So you don't have to shout. You don't have to argue. You don't have to say, I want. This is me. This is a transaction. This is a deal that I want from the negotiation. You should be burning as one candle. You should have fused into one organism by now. You should have the ability to say, okay, that reaction that you had just was unlike you. So is there anything going on? And if you're not conscious in this relationship, and if you are arguing, now I thought at first I would say probably once a week, but I realised you don't have to argue ever. There's never a point where you have to demand your part of the contract to be confirmed and signed by the opposite party. And if you're doing that and this person isn't meeting your emotional needs, they're not loving you for the messed up, crazy little person that you are, that understands you and can fix you and can bring you back down to base whenever, because they see these little hallmarks in you that there's something going on, and they trap you in a corner and say, no, you're not leaving until we have an open discussion on life, on beliefs, on what is wrong, what can happen. And if you can't get happy and you're constantly niggled at even the thought of that open discussion, you're still a child, you're still a kid. Now, the reason why I give a shit about this, because it's okay to say, no, everyone, I know someone happily married and they argue every day. They're not happily married. They're merged and they're stuck, and they've got that much fear of leaving each other that they would rather live this life and pretend it's passion and pretend it's love. That's not passion and love, because they can't love themselves. They can't love themselves enough to realise what true love is. And the reason why I give a shit is not about all the destructive relationships out there. That doesn't matter to me. But do you know what's in those destructive relationships? Children being messed up. Children being completely abused by mummy and daddy. Unconscious mummy and daddy who are still little kids. We've been together for 10 years and we've only been engaged for 8 years. Why are you not marrying me? Do you know why they're not marrying you, Susan? Do you know why? Because he doesn't love you. He doesn't give a shit about you. You just make him dinner and make him comfortable. And you know this deep down in your heart, but you're too scared to leave. And the same goes to Bob. Bob, come on, do us all a favour. You're a dirty pervert with all the women at the work where you go. You're a factory worker and you're chatting all the women up. You're a dirty pervert looking at the schoolgirls walking down the road. Why don't you leave your wife? Or even worse, the Philip Schofields of the world that come out that they're gay and think it's okay, and we all hail Philip Schofield for being such a brave legend. Hold on, he's just abused his wife for 20 years. Now that sounds really harsh and brutal, like I'm homophobic. No, he has had a sexuality that he's knew about, and you can say all along that it's about everybody else. I can't come out because of the social stigma, and you can say I don't know what that feels like. I have to come out with my own ego all the time, and I have to try and say and hold in stuff that this bullshit happens all the time. And the Philip Schofields of the world think it's okay when their wives know their sexuality. Their wives know. You can't tell me that you cannot sleep with a gay person without knowing that that person is gay. Of course you do. We have got intuition, we have got instinctive behaviour that picks this up. What I'm saying is the wife knew about it and she basically put up with it. She allowed it to happen. She enjoyed Philip Schofield's sexuality because it probably brought a very nice partner, a partner that didn't nag for sex, a partner that didn't have masculine qualities that she hated, and she was drawn to this very feminine, masculine concoction. But the truth is, you shouldn't be with your partner. You shouldn't, but you can't. You've got too low self-esteem to even run for the hills. Look at that person that you keep taking back. Look at that person that you have the same argument with. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity and madness to him was you trying to do the same thing over and over again to try and get a different result. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hold on a sec. When are you going to wake up to the fact that you bicker and argue all the time with your partner and they consume all your energy and you can't make a decision for yourself? You can't do what you want to do because that person's not willing to budge on their egotistical form. Why are you not breaking that down? Not breaking that down with a hammer, but having an open discussion. Right, we're going to have a game of chess now. We're going to make certain moves and we're going to get some problems. But within about 6 months, we can never argue again. Is that not what you want to drive for? For at least your children, because your children are going to get fucked up with this. Your children are going to be unconscious lemmings, and the mass suicide rates are already going up in the age of young youth to teenage years to young adults. The suicide rate is so high now, and I believe this unconscious abuse from mummy and daddy, where you think, but oh, we always looked after little Cheryl. Cheryl had everything she wanted. Why was she hanging from the bunk bed rafter at the age of 7 then? It's because you neglected her, because you was on the phone 8 hours. Then after that, you was on the Netflix for 5 hours. You caused her depression. You caused her ADHD. You got parents now saying their kids have got ADHD like it's separate from them. Hold on a second. You caused that ADHD. You are that ADHD in the child. 100% because of your behaviour. Own it. Don't feel bad about it. Don't leave comments like I'm wrong. It's not about that. It's about thinking that, is that a possible factor? Is it? And if you can deny it, tell me the 10 reasons why you can deny it, because you'll come unstuck on every single one of them, and we just create this fucking bullshit world, and it's driving me nuts. Driving me nuts.